After months of mere speculation and gossip, Jungkook has finally broken his silence. In a statement delivered through a limited internal interview and later spread to the media this past weekend, the youngest BTS member directly addressed the situation involving Kim Taehyung, V of BTS, and their agency, HYBE. Without much metaphor or small talk, Jungkook expressed his views with an unusual seriousness. Sometimes, when someone we truly trust starts to feel unseen, we must question the system we've protected for so long, Jungkook stated in a quote validated by an internal source. That statement immediately shook Korea's entertainment industry and the global fan community. Because until now, BTS has been known as a group that maintains internal harmony and loyalty to their management. So, why did Jungkook suddenly choose to speak out? And more importantly, what's really happening between HYBE and their artists? Since Taehyung's return from military service some time ago, oddities have become apparent. No public welcome, no official schedule, no appearances or promotions. Even BTS's official social media accounts said little about V's return. What emerged instead were unpleasant rumors, from reports that Taehyung wasn't included in group activities to claims that he was reviewing his legal contract independently. But the public truly became alarmed when reports surfaced that Taehyung had contacted an external legal team. This move was seen as a sign of resistance against HYBE's internal management structure. Amid the tense silence, it was Jungkook's turn to add to the spotlight. Rather than easing the situation, his comments reignited speculation about a much deeper internal crisis. Jungkook didn't mention Taehyung's name directly, but his tone, the context of the interview, and the timing of the statement all pointed to one thing: serious concern about how the agency treats its artists. He spoke of losing direction, a lack of dialogue, and a system that doesn't listen enough. These were seen as warnings, not just to HYBE, but also to the public that what's visible on the surface may not reflect reality behind the scenes. Sometimes someone has to leave to show that the system isn't working, Jungkook said in another segment of the interview. Fans quickly connected this to Taehyung's decision to cancel several scheduled activities, as well as delete or archive old social media posts. These actions further strengthened the belief that the relationship between Taehyung and HYBE was not in good shape. An industry source, who wished to remain anonymous, stated that this wasn't the first time HYBE had struggled to accommodate the personal needs of its artists. But this time felt very different because the person speaking out was Jungkook, someone long known to be calm, loyal, and disinclined to court drama. When someone like Jungkook starts voicing discomfort, the issue is no longer about individuals. It's about the system as a whole. This issue became even more complicated because, up to now, HYBE has yet to provide an official clarification. No explanation of Taehyung's status. No response to Jungkook's statement. The silence from management has only created a vacuum filled by wild speculation. Netizens began to wonder whether HYBE was stalling to shift the focus or secretly preparing a defensive move to handle a potential legal conflict with a BTS member. Some industry analysts suggest that this situation could significantly affect the company's image. Not only because BTS is a core asset, but also because this concerns integrity and transparency in artist management. HYBE has long been touted as a modern agency that prioritizes artist welfare. But if even global icons like Taehyung and Jungkook don't feel heard, then that narrative may need to be re-examined. Moreover, a report from Korean media stated that Jungkook took a private overseas trip without HYBE staff. Though there was no direct confirmation of the trip's purpose, some speculated he did it as a mental and emotional break from the pressure within the agency. Does that mean he too is considering a major shift in his career? The ARMY, who've long been the stronghold of BTS's stability, are now speaking louder. Several major fan bases have launched hashtag campaigns demanding transparency from HYBE and protection of artists' rights. "We love BTS, not the system that hurts them," wrote one Twitter user in a post that has now gained tens of thousands of retweets. This tension is also starting to affect market sentiment. HYBE stock reportedly dipped during daily trading after Jungkook's quote spread widely. Investors are questioning whether the company has mitigation strategies to maintain stability, or whether this is the beginning of a deeper internal split within BTS. Now the public waits. Will HYBE respond in a way that eases concerns? Or will they let this situation spiral out of control? And more importantly, will Jungkook continue to speak out or return to silence after sending such a powerful signal? One thing is clear: Jungkook's comments are not just emotional outbursts. They are acts of responsibility, not only as an artist, but as a friend, as part of a family that now appears to be cracking. And in an entertainment world full of crafted images and fabricated narratives, a sincere voice like this is the rarest and most powerful signal yet. Although the narrative that has been circulating in recent days seems very convincing, it must be stated very clearly that the news claiming Jungkook has spoken out about internal conflict with HYBE, as well as Taehyung allegedly taking legal action against his agency, cannot be factually proven. Articles and posts that have spread across various social media platforms and fan forums mostly originate from speculation and free interpretations of situations that were never confirmed by the related parties. First of all, up to the time this article is written, there has been no official statement from Jungkook, HYBE, or Taehyung himself mentioning any legal conflict or internal tension between BTS members and management. All quotes allegedly from Jungkook, such as the line, "Sometimes someone has to leave to show that the system doesn't work," have never appeared in official interviews, credible media, or public statements. These statements tend to be the result of social media opinion, wrapped as if they were real interviews. Second, there is no concrete evidence that Taehyung contacted an independent legal team to review his contract. This narrative developed merely from speculation, especially after it was noticed that Taehyung's schedule was not immediately made public post-military service. However, a lack of schedule cannot be automatically interpreted as a sign of conflict. It is very common for an artist to take a short break after completing military duty, either for physical recovery or readjustment to the busy entertainment world. Interpreting an absence as legal rebellion is a baseless leap of logic. Third, reports stating that Jungkook took a personal overseas trip to distance himself from HYBE were also never confirmed by the agency or any official representative. Even if Jungkook did travel abroad, that cannot be directly linked to internal issues, let alone associated with emotional conflict over Taehyung's treatment. Idols like Jungkook have private lives, and like anyone else, they are entitled to travel without always having professional or conflict-related motives behind it. Fourth, there is no evidence that Taehyung's social media posts have been significantly deleted as a form of silent protest against the BTS brand. Archiving posts is common in the digital life of modern artists. Many artists do this for aesthetic consistency, privacy, or personal reasons unrelated to conflict. Concluding that this action is directly connected to dissatisfaction with the agency is simply an exaggerated speculation. It must also be emphasized that the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung is known to be very close and strong. However, their personal closeness should not be used as justification to create dramatic narratives about professional conflict without evidence. Many fans project their emotions into the relationships of BTS members, but when those narratives turn into wild rumors that attack someone's reputation or privacy, it can become a dangerous backlash, harming not only the agency but also the idols themselves. The fact is, BTS, especially Jungkook and Taehyung, have consistently shown a solid professional relationship with HYBE. For years, they have been known as a cohesive group, mutually respectful, and repeatedly expressing gratitude towards the agency that helped build their names. Although in any large organization there will always be dynamics, there is no credible evidence that BTS, especially Taehyung and Jungkook, are on the verge of open conflict with HYBE. It should also be noted that in the South Korean entertainment industry, speculative media and online communities often create narratives to chase clicks and reader engagement. Some small media deliberately form stories from assumptions, unverifiable anonymous comments, or even quote internal sources with no clear identity. This is a classic technique often used to create tension and attract public attention, especially when it involves big celebrities like BTS. HYBE's silence on these rumors is also not without reason. In artist management, not every rumor needs to be responded to directly. Responding too often to gossip only serves to strengthen the false narrative. HYBE, like any professional agency, is likely monitoring the situation with caution and strategy. If there is indeed something important the public needs to know, they will certainly announce it through official channels, just as they have always done. So, why did this issue spread so widely? The answer is simple: emotion and assumption. Many fans feel emotionally attached to BTS members, and when there is no clear information, that void is quickly filled with personal interpretation, collective anxiety, and fabricated stories. The combination of curiosity, worry, and the dramatic push from social media creates an information storm that is hard to contain. Therefore, as fans and consumers of information, we all have a responsibility to reassess the information we receive. Don't easily believe in narratives wrapped in dramatic language, unsourced quotes, or big claims that have never been confirmed. If a piece of news doesn't come from official sources such as HYBE statements, direct interviews, or major media with verified reputations, then there is a high chance that the information is an opinion dressed up as fact. In closing, the issue about Jungkook finally speaking out regarding Taehyung's conflict with HYBE has no strong factual basis. This is a classic example of how narratives can be manipulated to form a certain perception, and how gossip can become truth. In the eyes of the public, if not approached with skepticism and caution, BTS is a group that has weathered many storms, and they remain strong because of their maturity and the depth of their relationships.